Hey guys, welcome to part 3 of the Jeep Power Wheels build, and in this next video I'll be showing the front part of the steering that I've been building and the rear part of the steering, as well as these hoops and the quick disconnect of the steering. So I'm going to attempt to make a fuel tank for in here. So it took me 3 times to do the steering, so I hope you guys enjoy. So I've put on the chain. It's off now because I just welded the bracket, but the problem is this engine part flexes. Even though I put these in, it flexes on the inside. From the bottom there, it flexes this way with a chain. So what I've done is I just grabbed 2 pieces of tubing, and then I'm just going to place them like this, just straight. I know I could bend them. I could bend them from under the seat and up, and that will probably look better, but I don't feel like it because I'm thinking I'm going to try and make the tank sit here and build a small tank here. So that's my idea of that, and for that, instead of like bringing it from here and bending it down to follow that, or bending it from underneath here, I want to see that I can get in more space here. So my idea is to just put it straight like that so that I get the most amount of space from underneath there. So I'll quickly notch those 2 pieces and put them in, and then I'm probably going to start on the steering. So I've got this little spindle from a go-kart, and I've got this engine bolt from another motorbike. I don't know which one it is. Cut it off, but what I'm thinking is I'm going to make a piece of plate, put it at the bottom here, and then put this in there, cut 2 of those ears off and weld my own plate on there to connect the 2 joints, connect those 2 joints to there, and then use this ear as a 3rd one that's going to connect to the actual steering rod, and have 1 rod on the side pushing forward. So I'll quickly cut the holes and stuff for this one. I'll make a bottom bracket first so I can set it all in there, and then make a top bracket so I can see where the top one has to go, and then I'll cut out the same spacing for these joints to set on there so that I can weld it on there. So I'll quickly sort that out. That's my idea. I hope it's gonna work. Right, so I thought I actually jumped on there, sat there, and I kind of held this go-kart that I found at the dump. I got the steering wheel from it. I'm gonna make a steering wheel like this, but just a little bit on the wider side. So if I pop that in there. So the idea is to make exactly a steering wheel like this, except these maybe an inch or two wider. So exactly like this, just an inch or two wider. And just because this is just a little bit too small, too tight to steer, so just to make it a bit easier steering, I'm going to make it a little bit wider, and also angle these ends for the levers to make the levers work better. But so these come with this little stainless bushing piece and the stops. So I thought I'll clean it out so they work better, and I thought I'll try one of those hubs that I had that I used for the other piece of the steering, one of these hubs. So look at that fits on there pretty snug, and that's going to work perfect. So I'll pop that in, and then I'll probably mount it around here, or maybe build a bracket for it to mount at the bottom here. So for the upper part of the steering, I'm not sure if I'm going to make a hoop like this, two of those. I'm kind of worried about kicking through here, so I'm thinking making one hoop like this so that it comes at an angle, so when you do kickstart, it kind of guides your foot into this hole, which might change because I might even bend this inwards there, I don't know. So I'm going to bend 290s because I can only bend like I think 110 degrees, and this is kind of like a 180 degree bend. So I'm going to bend 290s, and then I'm just going to cut them and weld them at the top. And then obviously the steering needs a little bushing holding thing at the top, and I don't have any more bearings, but I do have this. So this is like UHMW plastic made for machinery things. It's very high, very hard plastic. And then I've got this. Now, so this is the original, like it's like a steering stem holder thing for the quad. Looks like that when it's together, and the steering tube sits in there with, I'd say, just a bit of grease and 2 seals in there. So I've made this piece, you just saw me make that, so this is just going to fit right into there, and obviously I just have to clean up this thing a little bit. But that is what it's going to look like. So that stem for the steering is going to fit through there. What I'm thinking is I'm going to cut this thing in half like this into 2 pieces so that I can sandwich it in there because obviously I'm going to have to weld the top. The steering obviously at the top is welded and at the bottom, so I can't really slide that in there. So I'm thinking of cutting it on the sides and then sandwich it in like this thing. So that's my idea and that's my solution for the top. Alrighty guys, it's getting late, the sun has set, so I quickly on the lathe made these. So it's just hard plastic just to replace these bushes because they are quite worn out. So, and then I get steering plate through those A-arms moving. So quickly made those. We're gonna pop them in. Alrighty guys, so it's taken me 3 tries and I think 3 or 4 days now, and the steering is finally complete. I've done it the other way around, and that's how the quad works. These arms were on the back side and I flipped them to the front, so it looks like it's all gonna work. So basically same arm there all the way to the front onto that. So it's better if I do that. You guys can see that, plus there is that one, and then I just had to put that bolts in for now, but basically and it steers that way. So the problem was before, when it was on the back, it was fine and it was steering good, except these control arm, these arms was rubbing there, so I kind of cleared them a bit and it would steer tight to the right, but then when you go to the left it doesn't want to steer all the way. So then I try to change it to fix that issue, and I just could see it's not going to work. There was no other option, so flipped them around, so it looks like this is how it's going to be. Now I have actually tried, and if I did fix the battery, the engine a little bit higher, the battery would have actually fit under the engine, so pretty much fit in there. But the problem is I actually had it in, bolted the engine up here, but once I got here it actually sat on top of the battery, so the battery is a little bit tall. I'm probably going to try and get a little bit of a flatter battery. I want to build a tank in here with the aluminium to use the original fuel pump from the motorbike, so build a tank that's going to be sitting in there. So, and because I'm not that good with welding alley, I thought I'd use the rest of the day to practice my aluminium welding and see if I could get something together. Alright guys, it's about 10 or 20 minutes in and this is what we've got. So that I've got that there. This is my second pass. That was the it's pretty hot, but that was my first practice there. Just to tack it. I just really wanted to tack it together and test fit it, but it started making a really nice bead, so I just went with it. See, there you can see better. So yeah, it's going alright, I'd say. Hey guys, that's going to be it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.